Hello everyone, this is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you your reading for today, the 22nd of December 2022. It is Thursday, but I want to talk to you about the new moon that is going to be happening tomorrow in Capricorn. So it's going to be happening tomorrow, Friday the 23rd. So this is really an energy that's coming in here with a lot of healing energy available to us, and really helping us to connect a little bit more or get a little bit more clear about our purpose, right? Know that any of the intentions that we set with this new moon, of course, is going to take us into the new year. So anything that is, any seeds that are planted, of course, they're going to come to fruition as we enter the new year. So this is about setting our intentions for what we want for the new year, right? So what I feel with this is going to be bringing a lot of stuff up, possibly for some, in the emotional department. And the phrase that I get that comes in with this is that there's issues with our issues, right? There is a potential to be unhappy about some things at this time, right? Really feeling like things are not going your way, really feeling overwhelmed possibly with things. And we have, out of the Light Seers Tarot, 3 cards came up. We have the 8 of Wands. We have 3 different suits too, so this is really fun. 8 of Wands, 8 of Swords, so we've got 2 8s as well, which is really good to note here. And then followed by the 7 of Cups. Okay, so we've got our emotions, we've got our action, and we've got our thoughts, right, when we talk about our swords. And so really stepping into this energy, this is where you could be really overwhelmed in the external, and then it kind of plagues you internally, where you get caught in your head a little bit, right, where it's bringing in some doubts. And so I really feel overall like you could have like completely gone rogue recently, right, where you have created this version of yourself out of a necessity, right, like a means to cope with things that were happening around you. Not necessarily happy with this version of yourself, but you're just adapting to what's happening around you. And so I feel like part of you kind of likes the chaos that's happening around you. Maybe you were instrumental in creating some of this chaos because there's a need to kind of stand in solidarity with others, but on the same token, you really like to travel alone, right? You like to just do your own thing. So there's a little bit of projection going on there. And so you feel as though, you know, if I have all of this chaos kind of going on around me, I can kind of fly under the radar a little bit more easily, and I can kind of do my own thing without having to be one of the crowd, so to speak, right? And so with this, I really feel that this is really where some of that healing kind of comes in, right? Because we have to be able to work with these energies and overcoming some of this stuff in order to move forward, because what we're going to be talking about with this new moon is clarifying that sense of purpose, right? There's peace in knowing, there's peace in having a path, right? And in that, and it could change numerous times over our lifetime, or over the course of, you know, what we're doing in our external environments, right? The lessons that we're going through in our external environments can give us different purposes. And so, you know, really feeling like with the 8s coming in especially, this is about a time to really connect with your sense of power and having the courage to stand up and step forward in that. And so this is really about, with the 8 of Wands as well, the action in faith. Okay, so when I talk about action in faith, I'm going to get back to that in a second here as well. This action in faith is really kind of like going with the flow, but then stepping forward and then taking the action that you feel called to take, even though you don't necessarily know that outcome, but you're trusting that your intuition is leading you down the path that you're meant to be led down for a purpose. and that it's all for a reason, for this greater good for yourself, right? So I'm feeling like right now you could be in a space where you're feeling like, gosh, desperate times call for desperate measures. And so that's where you're in that energy of where you've kind of gone rogue. You've just done your own thing. You've done what you've had to do out of necessity, right? This isn't really who you want to be, but it's who you've become, right? It's not a true testament to your character. And so we really need to kind of peel back those layers and get you back to who you're really meant to be, or who you are at your core, right? Let that shine more. So we really need to bring that forward. So this is really bringing you into that space where we really need to connect with your current mentality and see where we can tweak that a little bit, right? That's where that power comes in, because this is like a mind over matter. And we do understand that like thoughts create things, and so when we can challenge our own thoughts, we can create a different reality and what's happening around us, and even new perspectives can really help us to see our circumstances quite differently. So with this, there's peace in knowing your sense of purpose and knowing your path, and you know where you're headed, and you don't really want to be tied down, right? So this is really where you can take that step back and understand that, okay, well, I don't really want to be tied down, but I can revel in the fact that like I'm really great at this, right? So like go through your strengths, start listing out what you're really, really good at, right? Know your weaknesses, right? And then start to use those to the best of your ability, and start to really kind of flip the script in your mind of the perspective of this, okay? We really have to start to understand how to play to our strengths, and then move into a certain level of commitment, because a commitment to ourself even of playing to our strengths, and then on improving our weaknesses as well, right? Because you owe it to yourself, right? And that's part of our lesson possibly as well. So when we look at the wands, that's our action. This is moving through our thoughts, getting through those doubts, understanding that you're plagued by those, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're true. And then that Seven of Cups is like committing to the path, right? Committing to a certain plan of action. And then, you know, knowing that once you get certain emotions lined up with that, that's when you become invested. You won't see it as being tied down to something. So I really feel like we're on the cusp of something really great right now. And when we're talking about the cusp of something new beginnings, right? It is a transition period, understanding that it is a transition period. So this is where you could be feeling called to act on a hunch, all right? So you're feeling pulled in a certain direction. You're feeling like this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're feeling like, gosh, I have a really good feeling about that. Okay, so this is where you following that good feeling, right? Following your intuition about that is your action in faith. That is your action in faith, right? And that is where if you start to follow that, you start to build that commitment more and more, right? You're starting to commit to following that plan of action. So you must be willing to act on that, right? Take action on that and not deem it as a risk. So when you are deeming something as a risk, you're really deciding to say, hey, I'm going to play it safe. I'm not going to step outside my comfort zone. I'm not going to move in that direction. So the energy starts to stagnate a little bit. That's where you become stuck a little bit. That's where, you know, that Eight of Swords, you could feel stuck, right? But you're not as stuck as you think you are. It is mind over matter, right? And so this is where this is about trusting your instincts and really adopting those new perspectives. So when you have a good feeling about it, sometimes this leads you down the best path, right? So when you're looking to play the lottery, right, it's $1 for a chance to play, right? Rather than say it is $1 and I'm not going to win, or I might not win. If you have a really good feeling about that, you could change your perspective about that. Like, it's only $1, right? Start to flip the script a little bit. Like, so you're minimizing the risk and reveling in the wonder. Okay, so this is where you need to take that stance of like, what if something really amazing happened? It was $1, right? You're not losing anything by really investing $1. So how are you investing in yourself? What action are you taking to invest in yourself? This is really what you need to be doing. So one task at a time. So you're going to be investing in yourself one task at a time, and this is going to give you, start building that sense of purpose within you. And then you're not necessarily going to feel so tied down if you're just committing to one task at a time. But in the process, you're going to get so far in, and you're going to realize how much you've shown up for yourself. You're going to feel a sense of accomplishment with that, and it's really, you're going to see how far you've shown up in the world, or how you show up in the world by doing that. And you're going to see that it could become your passion, and you're going to see that it could give back to you in certain ways. And this is where that commitment kind of comes in effortlessly, right? So you're realizing that it's not like overwhelming, looking at it like I have to commit to this, right? And instead it's building upon that faith, building upon the action in faith. And that's just one task at a time. And that's all you can ever ask of yourself, is to do the best that you can, one task at a time. And so this is really, in essence, how you stop stopping yourself. And this is a beautiful reading. It's a beautiful energy to sit in as you come into the new moon. Think about how you can start to show up for yourself. Think about how you can start to commit to one task at a time. What tasks will they be? What is your goal, right? And then as you start to break that down a little bit, it will start to build this momentum and energy. And great things are here for us for 2023, and I can't wait to do that reading for you guys, so stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to this reading today. I appreciate it so much. And if you're interested in your own personal reading, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can message me on the Facebook Messenger, or you can email me at enchantedemeraldny@gmail.com, or you can simply book a session with me on the square site pinned in the description box below, or at the top of my business page on the Enchanted Emerald Facebook. Thank you so much. Take care.